Alise from Cellar Door, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can propagate pothos. So pothos is this beautiful viney plant. It's very drapey. I have 5 or 6 of them in my home, including one that's about 4 feet tall and has a couple of vines that are over 6 feet. So what's amazing about these is how easy they are to propagate. So from this big mama plant, you can kind of see she's got some longer tendrils, and I really want to share this plant with a friend to put in her office. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple of cuts along this vine and put them in water, and then I will show you how you can then transfer them to a pot. So first what we're going to do is take a pair of sharp scissors. These are just regular kitchen shears that I cleaned with some soap and water just to make sure there wasn't any gross residue left on them. What you're going to do is you're going to find along the vine of your pothos, you'll see these little nodes. They're just little teeny tiny roots that are usually like a gray brown color, and you're going to make an incision about 1 centimeter wide on either side of that and just cut it. It doesn't hurt the plant. They're very resilient anyway, so they're just kind of used to being cut like this. I'm going to go over to this side because this has a longer vine on it and do that. So now I have 5 leaves, and since I'm going to end up putting these into a small 4-inch container, I only need a cup. Now that you have these cut, you're going to want to take a clear glass container. I prefer clear glass just because it gives you an idea of how the roots are growing while you're waiting for them to kind of spring to life a little bit. I'm going to fill that with some water. I use just my regular kitchen sink water because our water is pretty good here. If you have harder water or maybe well water, you're probably going to want to fill your container and let it sit for a little bit just to give it a chance to kind of equal out a little bit, get it a little aerated with the water. And then you just put your cuttings in there so that the nodes are completely covered by water, but you don't want to have any leaves submerged in water. And you don't want to have any, if you have new growth on your leaf, you don't want any of that submerged because that can actually lead to rot, and then it can ruin all of your propagations. So this will take probably 2 or 3 weeks to get some good solid roots grown out of there. So I'm going to switch over to one that's already been rooting for a while, and you can kind of see she's got some good roots going on her. So I'm going to go ahead and plant her. I generally just use my hands. I don't use a lot of tools when I'm doing this. It's just dirt, it'll wash off. So I like to get the soil just a little moist before I put it in the planter, just because this is a new plant, they're new leaves, they're new roots, and they just kind of need a little extra help. I'm gonna mix that a little bit and then scoop my small container in there. I fill it most of the way up with dirt and leave a couple of inches at the top. We can clean up the side of the planter later. So now that that's done, I'm gonna take these guys. And so, like this one has a couple of leaves and a couple of roots. Just press it gently down in there and then arrange the rest of these around it. So what's kind of fun is that if you were to cut off, a longer piece of the pothos vine and decide that you want to submerge it a little bit more, you can actually take paper clips and open them and just leave the one end hook and secure it down into the ground to hold the vine down as you're getting it accustomed to its new living space. So now that I have these kind of arranged a little bit better so they kind of fill in the pot a little bit, I'm going to finish covering them with dirt, making a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. And I'm just going to give it a little bit more water just to make it extra happy. There's some people that prefer to wait 24 hours when they propagate a plant before watering it. I go ahead and do it just when I'm putting it into its new home, so it's got a slightly damp environment and just kind of encourages some growth. So now in 5 short minutes, you've got an entire new plant. And as an example, this is one I did a couple months ago, and it's now vining very, very nicely and trailing. So it's pretty awesome. From start to finish, it does take about 5 minutes, but like I said, when you have your propagations in your water, you're gonna wanna wait about 2 weeks just to make sure that the roots are fully grown and secure so that when you set them up in their new home, they are prepared. Please drop any questions you have below. Happy to answer them.